top of them. But we don't sit there and understand that, like we're going back to the beginning of the show, the top of the show. My man Sheed said, guys, wait to the last minute to do anything. You got to trust the process. Discipline. You got to discipline yourself. And that brings me to the first clip of the show, the first clip. Let's champion this right here. Let's go.
Judge me by my progress. Look at where I started and look at where I'm standing. Judge me by my progress. Look at where I started and look at where I'm standing. Judge me by my progress. Look at where I started and look at where I'm standing.
Yo, don't judge me by my progress, man. No, don't judge. Look at this right here. Look at this. I'm telling you guys, crabs, blue crabs, all that stuff. Yeah, it's good, right? Sodium, all that stuff right there brings forth a lot of shit with it. Gout, hypertension, high blood pressure. I'm trying to tell you, in the end, you're going to end up seeing my man Zoe down there at the bottom. You have a consult with him, right? Now that expense becomes higher. But then again, too,
judge me by my progress.
You know what I mean? I understand, but do it in moderation. But now look what he's eating, okay? But Zoe, I'm gonna give it to you because let me do this right here. Because guys, this goes back to the top of the show, what I talk about, me and Zoe talked about in the bike chat, all right? That $1 burger on the dollar menu at Mickey D's can turn into a $70,000 bill. That whole line of pot of crabs right there, all those crabs and all that shit, all that seasoning and all that stuff. Yeah, it's cool. I'm not saying Big Duke, I'm not saying don't do it, but just do your shit in moderation. Mindful eating. Because that right there can turn to a whole lot of complications of health issues. Okay? Like Zoe said, that $1 burger is way more expensive than that $15 salad in the long run. In the short run, man, I don't want that shit. Nah, you know what they're saying, Zoe. You know what they're saying, She. I don't want that shit. Nah, I don't want that. I don't want that bun. But that $1, that $1.69, that $1.69 burger, on the long haul, you keep eating that shit, can turn into a hospital bed, gonna turn into some shit that look like this right here. You're gonna have that consult. So see, hey, but check this out, Zoe. When they have this type of consult right here, that's when they want to sit there and make a change. And all I'm saying is, guys, be proactive before I get to this level. All right? That's all we're saying. Be more proactive before I get to this point right here. You know what I mean? So, Zoe, it's on you, fam. Go ahead, fam. You want to comment on the video?
I mean, that's amazing, number one. Number two, I don't want to go too far because there's so much that the health has to do, for example, with life insurance and health insurance, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, this guy right here, let's say when he was first eating good and he...
When you bring it back up, Zoe?
Yeah, you could bring it back up. When he was bigger. Right here. He would have went and let's say he's a trucker for a living. So truckers or a fitness instructor or a football coach, right? And he works for himself. So he's a freelancer. So he has to get his own health insurance. So because he's heavy set, it's going to be real expensive for him to get a policy. Health insurance is expensive for independents anyway. Let alone if he has a family, wife, and kids, he got to add them to the policy. Again, this is as a freelancer. It's a little different when you have a job. There's something called adverse selection. I'm not going to go too deep into that. But for the purposes of this, right now, he could get some health insurance, but it's going to cost him a grip. Right?
Yes, sir.
Now, let's say, give me a dollar amount that, let's say big facts. Get yourself some fresh fruits and eat healthy nuts like almonds. Yeah, I need to get back into my juicing and everything. But what's the big number? Let's say he drops $3,000 a month on health insurance. Right? Again, this is him, wife, kids. This is carte blanche, top of the line plan, low copay, big network, blah, 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 right? But $3,000 a month. Fast forward to where he's eating really good. Please.
All right. You good, Zoe?
Yeah, I'm good. Now, what you'll see is when he's thinner, he's going to be in a position where he can get reevaluated, right? And they'll say, oh, you're so much more healthier. They actually have an incentive that as he's getting healthy, as he's going from this to the other picture, they'll start making what it costs him cost less every month. So he'll start, let's say this journey, because the journey of 10,000 steps starts with one. Right? You got to start somewhere. You can't walk 10,000 steps without walking the first step. So they actually will reward you and do things like lower your premium when you show them you sign up for a gym. When you show them you got you're taking your medicines, right? Because let's not get it crazy, and I'm not a health professional by any means, but generally when I've consulted with health professionals, they'll say, listen, we're going to get you off the medicine, but for right now, you still got to take your medicine until I get you healthy. You can't just jump off of this and think you're going to, you know.
Let me jump in there real quick, Alonzo. That's the
Yes,
biggest
sir.
thing. When it comes to the medicine, we all want the finished product. Everybody want the finished product, looking good, you know, feeling good, and that's always a good thing. But the point of it is, the way you eat now structures your health later. And then you got to look at this. Your health is equated to your wealth. If you ain't making no money, you going to go get the dollar burger because that's all you have, you know. And they think that, man, all I can afford is a burger. You know how many people don't eat salads? You know how much a head of lettuce is? People won't buy the head of lettuce due to the fact that they thinking, man, it's too much money. If I buy a head of lettuce, tomatoes, cheese, if you want to put in there, I stay away from the cheese as much, but it's your preference. Salad dressing, a lot of people, you know, the big bottles of salad dressing, man, you might pay less than $10. Meal prep that thing. You could sit there, eat salads 2 times out the day. You want to spin it up, put a little chicken in there, there you go. Take it to work. You good. Bring your own food. One of my coworkers introduced me to a thing, it's a hot plate. I ain't got to buy no more food. I was spending at minimum $25 a day, just getting between lunch, I say between $20 and $40 a day between getting lunch, breakfast, snacks, getting bottles of water, going to the store. One time I went in there, I got literally 4 drinks, 2 bags of candy, and some gum. I spent almost $15. No, it was 2 drinks. 2 drinks, candy. I spent almost $15 on all that. And then all the sugary drinks I'm getting, man, no kind of nutrients. I'm all hyped up. And let's don't even start with people like me driving trucks, drinking a Red Bull. Man, that plays a part in your health too. So you got to look at the sacrifices that you're doing where you say, I'm going to stop doing all that stuff. Look at this guy, how he said, man, I'm going to commit to a better health. And look how his life has changed. Look how much weight he lost. Look how happy he is, feel good about himself. That plays a big part. You got to do.
Salute. Hey, I just want to sit there and say this, man. When y'all come in, like the video, man, subscribe to the channel. Like M. Shanti said, man, we need more stuff like this to be pushed out. I also, guys, go over and subscribe to Alonzo's show. I mean, you need more information like that. We here. You know what I'm saying? You guys, Mars, drop She and Lonzo channel in the chat for me, please. So you can go ahead and subscribe to them as well. Here's the thing about that. Moving into the next clip, people sit there and see me all the time. Man, I'm pushing 50 years old. I'm closer to 50 than I am to 40, right? Real talk, you know what I'm saying? Just putting it out there. So it is what it is. You know what I mean? People know me. But the thing about it is that, guys, I've been doing this. It's a lifestyle. You know what I mean? I'm disciplined enough to sit there and be mindful. The word diet is cool, but at the same time, I like to sit there and say, practice mindful eating. You know what I'm saying? Just be mindful about your food choices. You know what I'm saying? Because here's the thing. Here's my acronym for diet. You do it every time. You do it every time. Every time there's an event, you diet. There's a banquet, you diet. There's a road trip, you diet. Every time you want to do something that's big and grand, you diet. Just be mindful with your food choices. You see what I'm saying? And that's going to bring me to the next clip, guys. And again, this most of you right here, just keeping it real. Y'all know I like to keep that shit real and mother. This is mostly how y'all be doing y'all shit. So let's get into it, man. Let's go.
Keep it right there, yeah, 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 yeah. When are you gonna say it's alright, it's alright? Ooh, baby, it's alright there. Keep it right there, yeah, 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 yeah. When are you gonna say it's alright, it's alright? Ooh, baby, it's alright there.
So real talk. Listen, one donut won't hurt. 90 days later, you look like my man. You know what I'm saying? You look like that Berenstein Bear out this motherfucker. Here's the thing about that. Listen, if you ain't got discipline to start with, leave that shit alone. Get yourself right first. At least think about it. If you already overweight, you know what I'm saying? You need enough discipline to sit there and say, cool, I've been fucking up so long, you know what I mean? For so long, I got to have enough discipline and wherewithal to sit there and say, listen, I just need to sit there and better myself for the betterment of me and the help and support that I am. If I'm the leader of the pack, if I'm the leader of the family, then cool. You know what I'm saying? I need to chill for a second. I don't need that donut. I don't need that sweet roll. I don't need that soda. I don't need that right there. I can chill for a second because you've been doing it so long. You know what I'm saying? Because like my man said here, one donut will hurt. It won't hurt. 90 days later, you looking like Buddy. Still talking about some shit. I'm going to change. No, you're not. You're going to keep doing the same shit over and over. You know what I mean? So with that being said, let's get into the meat of the show, guys. Let's get into the first slide, you know what I'm saying, of the show. The first thing is, when we start thinking about this right here, the financial costs of poor health. Okay, I'm going to go to She, then I'm coming to Zoe. There are hidden costs and economic impacts that extends from beyond the doctor's office. These include lost productivity, increased insurance premiums, and even a broader economic strain on public health systems. All right? So with that being said, before I give it to She, man, we're going to go into the video and see why when we start talking about health premiums and all that good shit. So She, chime in after the video, and you can see right down here, guys, you do have choices. If you're looking at my man right here on the right, pizzas, sodas, pretzels and shit like that, burgers, fries, you're going to have that abnormal gut. You clean your shit up, you're going to look like the image on the left side. Here we go. Let's get it, guys. Let's go.
So there's a new roadblock for people trying to get popular weight loss drugs like Ozempic.
More and more employers have decided to cancel insurance coverage for these pricey injections. Fox's Sharon Crowley explains.
You start to feel full, the cravings start to go away.
Felicia Zorn injects herself with the popular weight loss drug Wegovy. Once obese, she now takes it to keep the pounds off. She's also had 2 weight loss surgeries.
Stop the show. Salute my man O'Shea. Did y'all hear that shit? Listen, did y'all hear that? Most people can't, most people can't afford 1 weight loss surgery. She only had 2 of them. Now I'm gonna bring up the stats on that right here shortly. But the thing about it is that you don't have 2 surgeries, 2 of them. You know what I'm saying? Why sit there and deal with that, guys? Listen, this shit is crazy. Let's run it back.
Crowley explains.
You start to feel full, the cravings start to go away.
Felicia Zorn injects herself with the popular weight loss drug Wegovy. Once obese, she now takes it to keep the pounds off. She's also had 2 weight loss surgeries.
I was able to finally start doing what doctors have said to do for so long. It's like have smaller meals and then snack along the way.
Wegovy, Ozempic, and other drugs prescribed for obesity and type 2 diabetes have recently become in high demand since they work so well for weight loss. The drugs are expensive, though. Without insurance, the injections can cost about $1,200 a month. Price
Weight loss drugs like Ozempic.
Stop the show. Guys, this broadcast right here is not that dated. This is only 10 months ago. So before I give it to you, She, I just want to show you guys this right here, how much a surgery costs, if I can do it right. Hopefully I do this shit right. Let me do it my whole screen. Let me see this. Hope you guys can see this shit. All right. Y'all see this right here? Do y'all see this?
Yes, sir.
Yep, we see it.
Let me home team fam. Let me explain something to y'all. This is from Healthline.com. What is the average cost of surgery, weight loss, bariatric surgery? According to the National Institute of Diabetes and Digestive and Kidney Disease, surgical weight loss can cost between $15,000 to $25,000. 2017 review found that it means the cost of weight loss surgery is between $14,000 and $389. That lady just sit there and say she had 2 of them. Most people can't even afford 1 of them. So my thing is, why don't you sit there and be more active? You see what I'm saying? Be proactive in this situation. I'm gonna give it to you, She. You got the floor, man. You got it. It's on you, fam. Go ahead. You got it.
The crazy part about that is, man, everybody wants to skip the line. The process is real when it comes down to it. Going to the gym, working out, cutting the food, cutting what you eat. You know, they got this one doctor, he always talk about, I think he had like a 600-pound patients, and they all come in to come see him. And, you know, they done made TikToks, funny videos about this guy. You know, he talk reckless to the people. Like, man, you need to put down the cheeseburger. You need to stop eating this. And the lady said, well, I ain't ate nothing all day. He said, yeah, you can afford to not eat for a couple of years. And, you know, everybody laughing at the videos. But, man, seriously, want to get real? When you on that side of that video and he talking to you like that, or a family member, you know, we kind of hold some of our family members back because we're the ones that, you know, let them keep eating. Oh, they just a child. And then when they get to this point, medicine, most people will literally go get a job just for the surgery. I've known people to say, man, I want a tummy tuck. I'm going to go get this job because I know they pay. This other job don't pay for a tummy tuck. I've talked to people that did that. I'm like, man, that's crazy. You quitting this wonderful job just to go to this other job that pay for the surgery? I'm like, come on, man. Just live right. Eat a little better. You know, spend a little more money, eat a little more healthy. Just like with the whole process of the BBLs and everything else, everybody's trying to skip the process so they can look like the work. But the bad part is, if you skip the process and you don't maintain that structure, all you're doing is enabling yourself to go right back to where you started from. You got it, Zoe.
You know, that's funny. That cost of that particular medicine or drug. So I'm a perfect like model for this particular show. I have diabetes, and like I said, listen, y'all, I could be candid, right? I was fucking around thinking I'm Superman and shit. Oh, I got diabetes, I'm good, I don't need to take my medicine. All right. Listen, real talk. I had a situation where in a 3-month period I cleared $60,000. I earned that. But the following month I went to the hospital and my hospital bills was $80,000, meaning that I basically earned negative $20,000 in the last 3 months. Oh, plus the fact that, again, I work 100% commission. So missing 1 day of work for me is equal to missing 3 days of work. So while I was in the hospital for 3 weeks, how much work? That's damn near a year's worth of work I've done missed. So now that puts me behind the 8 ball. Oh, by the way, I got competition. That's not laid up for 3 weeks. So when somebody calls them, they can get back to you, right? I've had real life situations. She says all the time, listen, bro, I'm your client, so I need you to be alive because you taking care of my money. And I plan on being alive for a long time. So guess what I need you to be? Right? It's business and personal. Yes, sir.
And that's why I stay on you about cigarettes and everything else, because you got to be more healthy for yourself. Look, if you can't force yourself to make decision, I'm going to force myself to help you make that decision. But go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. So, it's serious stuff. Right? And it costs you a lot because it puts you way behind the 8 ball. Now you're like, geez, I got to get back. Boom, boom, boom. Can't do this. And so, like, for example, I know a guy got his leg cut off. So now he can't do none of the stuff he used to do. Or like this woman right here who her drug back in, what was it? I think it was 2013. Or maybe it was 2014. I had the diabetes. I was like, all right, they prescribed me insulin. But at the time, I wasn't married, so I didn't have my wife's insurance. And I was a freelancer, so I had to pay for it out of pocket. 1 month supply was $700. That was like, geez. And you want me to buy this every month? And people will do things like also injure themselves by being like, yo, this medicine is too expensive. And they will try and change the dose they take, which then changes the effectiveness of the medicine. And things like, and then that costs you more because then you get messed up more. And then they're like, well, what's going on? And you're telling them, well, I was taking my medicine. Yes, you were taking your medicine, but you weren't taking your medicine like we told you to take your medicine. So it's like you weren't taking your medicine. Right? And if you're going to try and not take your medicine, then you really got to sit with Big Duke and be like, yo, I don't want to be on this medicine. Right? Damn. I ain't even, my mouth just got dry. But you'd be like, yo, dude, I don't want to be on this medicine. What are the steps that I need to take? Boom, 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 but I'll pause there.
Here's the thing about it, man. Let me give y'all know I like to do here, guys. I like to do the comment of the day. So far, thanks for everybody for coming in the building. Tom came in and dropped 2. I had to pick one of them. I'm gonna just pick one of them. The first one is he said you can make your own healthy salad dressing that costs that costs no money. It's the mindset of today's people because of greed and power. If you love yourself, you know that your body is the temple. So that right there, man, listen, you only get one body. That's it. You know what I mean? You're not made in Boston Dynamics. They can't fucking take your leg off or your abdominal walls off and sit there and build that shit. You get one body. That's it. That's it. You know what I'm saying? M. Shanti came in and said, I stay away from Big Pharma as much as possible. They create problems more than they heal or cure. All fire, no smoke. So those 2 right there, guys, it's the comment of the day. I mean, I guess everybody chime in. And also D came in and just dropping some gems like a motherfucker. Even though 1 or 2 words, no smoking, fall back on coffee. I mean, sunshine, exercise, all that shit. You need all that. You know what I'm saying? Also, a big shout out to my man. I call him the genius, guys. Is C over the technician. Trust me, the best kept secret on YouTube when you come to it. Go visit the man channel. Tight work. I can't listen. I'm gonna just leave it right there. see over the technicians in the building. Listen, guys, real talk. Moving into the next slide, right? So the next thing is, we already touched on it, but I want you guys to unpack it a little bit more, okay? So the next one is that what we talk about is, from the poor health standpoint, is poor health can be expensive. We know that. If you look up there, the first picture is hospital bills, past due, because they're going to keep piling up. Frequent medical bills, prescription costs, long-term care. Long-term, that means that you haven't worked, you unable, you sedentary, you can't move, you inactive. That means somebody else got to take care of your ass. You know what I mean? Now you open up Pandora's box to sit there and say, hey, listen, Zoe, what's going on? We need to start talking about life insurance. You see what I'm saying? And also, guys, for your employer, okay, this means a loss in productivity, higher absentees, and increase in healthcare costs. Okay, on a societal level, it places pressure on the public health system and social services. All that stuff encompasses, guys, bad, poor health. Something that we can be proactive about. The clinical one, what's up with you, girl? What's going on? What's going on? Appreciate you for being in the building. So here's the thing about that. Let's take it from the top. I'm gonna come back to Zoe, then I'm gonna give it to She. Frequent medical bills. As you can see, guys, those bills do not stop coming. If you don't keep paying them, eventually it's going to be past due, and they're going to keep coming. They're going to just be sitting and leaning on your ass, okay? Prescription costs, long-term care expensive. All right, I'm going to come right back to Zoe, and then I'm going to give it to She. You got it, Zoe.
Yeah, medical bills, like I said, that adds to the stress because them bills keep coming. That phone keep ringing. You be like, and that adds to your stress, right? Then you got prescriptions because, like that woman said, her injection was how much a month? $1,200.
Yep.
You know, that's ridiculous. You know,
Yep.
If long-term care, I don't think people even think about long-term care. So, the average rate, and I think this was in 2017, for 1 year in a facility, especially if it's a private room, meaning a room of your own, is $104,000 a year. Now, most people, again, are dependent on Social Security. So they don't have that kind of money. So they aren't going to be at those good facilities. They're going to be at the one that's, the stereotypical, CNA, fresh out of high school, maybe with her GED, getting her life together. Eventually she's going to go get her RN, but right now she a CNA driving a Nissan Maxima. She's not really trying to take the best care of you, right? She's like, I'm not about to wipe this old man's behind. Right? Well, let's be real. I ain't wiping no old dude ass. She's not trying to do that. Right? She'll hand you the cloth. Here you go, Mr. Johnson. Wipe yourself off. You trying to be a dirty old man. Look at them titties, girl. So why don't you give me a sponge bath? She's not doing none of that. Especially if you ain't in the facility that's paying her, top dollar. Right? Then, like it said, for employers, it means lost productivity, right? I know people who, you're sick, you keep taking days off, the job will fire you. Because be like, well, you're never here anyway. And if you're not here, guess what? Everybody else at the job got to do your job. Oh, like my stepfather, right? He or my stepfather-in-law, he's a security guard, right? And he's up there in age. And it's this new worker who works there who's supposed to be his relief, keep not showing up. They keep calling, hey, why, So now my stepfather got a cover for him, and he's, nearly 70 years old. He ain't trying to be, you know, working no more. So they about to can that dude because they find out, oh, I was sick. But okay, you can't just also not show up, because that puts strain on everybody else at work. And then what about things like wife and kids or your friends and family who care about you? They see you all sick, they gonna be concerned. I'll stop there.
Salute, man. Not only they're gonna be concerned, Zoe, but they got to take up the burden. They got to take up the slack. You see what I'm saying? So I'm gonna give it to Sheed, man. Sheed, you got it, fam. Go ahead, touch on it, man.
All right, quick with this. Medical bills are not good for nobody. Literally, you probably can't even get a credit card, due to a lot of high-end stuff that you have on your credit. And then you add in medical bills, that doesn't play a real big particular part, but it shows how mismanagement of money. And the more you keep mismanaging money, the more other companies going to look at it and say, well, you're not reliable to get this house because you can't even take care of a medical bill. You're $80,000 in debt. You can't afford a house. The new environment might spark you to lose weight or do something. But the point of it is, you're putting yourself down in the hole because your medical bills are killing you. Most people, they can get a nice house because they make the money, but their credit hinders them back. And then you got to understand, with hindering your credit, it hinders your health. A lot of this stuff go hand in hand. How many people live in certain areas, deprived areas, for the lack of funds, but the people who do have the money, it's mismanagement of money. And when you mismanage your money, you mismanage your health. That's why they keep saying your health is your wealth. Disparity of your money is the same thing as lack of health. It go hand in hand. The good health is wealth. Then you got the despair for the lack of health and less of funds. They go hand in hand. So a lot of people getting on these medicines cost money. When you lose your insurance because you're not going to work on time, you can't afford this insurance. You can't afford this medicine. That plays a big part of a lot of people. The process being in general, which a lot of people fail to understand, when it comes to you providing for your job, you got to be in a situation of decent health, not just good health, but decent health. And a lot of people lack thereof, take the necessary precaution to say, well, I'm going to eat a little more healthy. I'm going to, go to the gym more. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. They're just going with, just like the movie Going with the Wind. They just saying, man, maybe if I, eat these burgers only on Tuesday, maybe if I only eat these burgers on Wednesday. No, you got to have a whole transformation. Even though you eating burgers, grill that burger, frying it and all that oil and stuff like that. It's many ways that you eat bad. It just makes it worse. So, like French fries, a lot of people baking their fries now and doing the air fry. That's awesome compared to dropping into that grease.
Right.
Dropping in that grease, man, that's a big part. So, like I say, going into the fact of you so much medicine being paid out, having all this money and don't know what to do with it. Prime example. Just like your health is your wealth, people who hit the lottery, no financial stability, what happens? They typically lose their money. They have a show called The Curse of the Lottery. That's the same thing with your health. Typically, a lot of people who are not conscious about their health, what do? They get overweight, they eat wrong, and they meet an early demise. A lot of people, they think that, man, if I'm financially stable, I'm good. Same thing we talked about with discipline. You got to be stable with your health as well. That's the cliche thing, and we're going to keep going over this. Your health is technically your wealth. Go ahead, Duke.
Man, listen, man, that shit. Let me do this first, man. God damn. That's what I'm talking about, guys. That's why I brought these guys right here in the building, man. Salute everybody coming to the building. Like, I can't stress that enough, man. It's about, like, people don't realize, like, when you sit there and be selfish enough, especially if you got a family, you be selfish enough to sit there and don't take care of your health. People don't realize this shit. All this stuff is intertwined. You know what I mean? People sitting there and like, oh, Duke, you're in great shape. Listen, if your mental health is not in line with your physical health, then your financial health is fucked up. All this stuff is intertwined. Your physical, your mental, all that. Between those two, you got to have a cohesive bond between mental and physical health. It's a must. It's only right. Now, the next slide, guys, I'm going to show is that it's about food choices. Here's a food tip for the day. All right? I'm going to say some shit. I know y'all going to be like, I don't want that.
Can I say something real quick, Duke?
Sure. Go ahead, fam. Go ahead. You got it. Go ahead.
Real quick. I just want to let people know how many, and you know, I'm a big guy myself. I got a little stomach. I ain't got no six pack. I ain't out there in the gym buffing it like Duke. But the thing of it is this. How many big belly dudes you know that are CEOs that, you know, run this whole thing? Yeah, they know how to make the money. They neglect their health, but they die early. The ones that are really hitting it in the gym, hitting it in the office, they created a way to balance both sides. And I'm just going to leave you with that.
Solid, man. Solid.
Yeah, outside of chronic things, definitely the ones who, you know, if it's something you can't control, like celiac or something, I get it, but you can still make lifestyle changes because you have to, right?
That's right.
And those things, you know, listen, man, I still love them Belgian waffles, but listen, they ain't good for you, whatever it might be, right? And so, hey, what's going on, Shay? So, you know, the what she said makes so much sense. Like the guy who's knocking that out the park. But you know why? Often those CEOs and office guys are ex-athletes. Have you ever noticed that most of the ex-athletes who still have money and are still in the public eye are still some form of physically fit? Right, you know, we cut on Charles Barkley. Oh, Charles Barkley, he's a fat. Yeah, but Charles Barkley compared to, I don't know if y'all watch Lex Luger's a different kind of case because he had a muscle disease. But like Charles Barkley compared to, you know, Manute Bol, right? Rest in peace.
But let me hop in real quick. So let me say this real quick. Let me just dovetail your point. Most athletes, especially ex-football players, those offensive linemen, defensive linemen, as soon as they finish with the season, you see a lot of them lose weight. You see a lot of them try to sit there and get some of that weight up off them. You know what I'm saying? But I do want to sit there and say this, guys. Saying is before you guys give you guys a food tip, something about she said. Okay, here's a food tip for everybody out there. All right, don't say I didn't give you anything. So if you like it, goddamn it, support the show. Train Harder 2424, Cash App. Listen, if you like burgers, all right, I'm gonna give you something that you probably don't like to hear, but it's good. Trust me, it's real good. Take your burgers, take your ground beef. I prefer if you can get 93.7, get 93.7. All right, here we go. Let's get it. You want your burgers? Take your burgers, 93.7, 96.4 is even better. Fry it up, you know what I mean? Put it on the griddle, cook it. Now, here's the magic part. Don't do the bun because the bun represents the carbs. That's where all the bullshit is, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to take spinach, and that's going to replace the bun. Get your layer of spinach. Put your patty on top of that. All right? Then you can go with your condiments. You know what I'm saying? Just go light with it. You know what I'm saying? If you want to do a little bit of, you know what I mean, mayonnaise, a little bit of mustard, stuff like that, that's fine. Put cheese on there, your onions on there, your tomatoes on there, that's fine. The top layer is going to be another layer of spinach, no bun. So you got from the bottom, spinach, your patty, all your toppings and stuff like that on there. On the top, you got spinach on that. Now you got a good source of fibrous food, which in your spinach. And on top of that, you got a good source of lean protein from your patty. Solid. Bake your fries like she said. Go ahead and put them in the air fryer. You know what I'm saying? Again, you doing things, guys, you want it to be the benefits of it. Take the bun off, okay? Take that bun off. That empty calorie, them bullshit ass carbs, you don't want that. Get something like that, trust me, and it's good. It is really good. If you haven't tried it, try it, okay? So that leads me to my next point, okay? The Real Reavers, yep, I hate him now. Damn, he did? Oh, well, hold on, he did? He let himself go? Damn, I ain't know that. No, nothing but sugar in that bun. Yeah. Now, you got somebody right here in the chat who's been down that road of transformation. I can't speak to her enough. She don't been down that road of transformation. It's tried and true. It's documented. Don't done it, kept it off. There you go. Now the next one, fellas. The gut. All right. We're gonna talk about this right here. I'm gonna start it off and then I'm gonna give it to She and then I'm bring it up with Zoe. All right, let's get into it, man. Let's go.
The diseases that we see, do you feel that a lot of the diseases that we see in Western society start in the gut?
Yeah, I do. I do. That's sort of the philosophy of my lab when we started, is that that's why I was alluding to earlier about paying attention to gut function, bowel movements, stool quality, all that sort of stuff, because early signs, and this.
Stop the show. Gut functions, bowel movement, you know what I mean? Your stool, the way that stuff looks. I told you guys before in the show here. Don't want to get too graphic, guys. I hope you're not eating, but you need to hear this. I must keep saying it. Guys, your stool needs to be in the form of C's and S's, okay? It should not be broken up into pebbles. That if it's broken up into pebbles, you more or less either on the verge of being constipated or you constipated, okay? You should have a smooth transition between your bowels, okay? You know what I mean? Your stool should come out pretty smooth. If it's broken or if it breaks off halfway, then you need more fiber in your system. You need to bring in more fibrous foods, okay? So remember that right there. Also, you should not have a bowel movement every goddamn 5-6 days. Your GI tract, everything else is messed up. I'm gonna get into it after this right here. Let's finish.
This is coming out more and more early signs of things like even Parkinson's show up in the gut first. And we're trying to figure out, okay, what are these biomarkers in the blood or in the stool or through biopsies can we look at to say, okay, you've got a high risk now for this disease because you're showing the early signs. And then it gives people opportunities to maybe intervene. So huge impacts on quality of life. So, and then metabolic diseases. Right. I believe type 2 diabetes starts in the gut.
So the gut, like I said before, guys, the magic happens in the gut, okay? So with that being said, like I told you guys before, whatever you eat, your body got to process that. Salute my man, Bruce Gass, if you're still watching, the vet. We always said before, me and Bruce Gass can talk about this shit every day and twice on Sunday. Whatever you eat, your body got to process that, okay? It depends on what you eat, how fast your body processes. Understand that? So whatever you eat, your body is going to process it. Now, the quality of the food that you bring into your system depends on how fast that's going to move through your system, okay? Because you start talking about the GI tract, the gastrointestinal tract, and all the good shit. The magic happens right in your stomach. Bullshit in, it's going to take longer for bullshit to come out, okay? If you're bullshitting, next thing you know, it's going to turn to what we call BF, body fat. It's going to spin in body fat. If it's clean, fibrous foods, good, rich, you know what I'm saying, good, rich greenery, it's going to move right on through your system, okay? So again, now when you start eating that bullshit, it'll open up Pandora's box for gout, hypertension, you know what I'm saying, high blood pressure, and everything else across the board. So again, bullshit in, take longer for bullshit to come out. You eating clean, then it's going to pass right on through your system. You got it, fam. Go ahead. Okay. She said,
so he gonna take a pause for a second. Yeah, man, you know, bullshit in, bullshit out is true, brother. You got me over here like wowzers, you know. That's actually interesting because they say that you eat, like, even your gut is your other brain, and it has more to do. You know something that's crazy?
What's that, brother?
So I think it's trust. First of all, I want to look at this comment Trust said. Trust said, I think
We gave up actual foods in favor of orange flavored crunchy things.
Foods like, oh yeah. Foods like products. Okay, cool. What you put here?
Yeah,
This, you talking about right here?
yeah. So I wanted to highlight that because that's so true, right? And another thing with a lot of this profit and stuff, especially here in the States, a lot of our foods are outlawed in other countries. A lot of the products that are in our food are outlawed in other countries. Do you know that they've said that, yeah, turmeric is good. Do you know that they've said that sugar is 70% more addictive than the other white powder?
Mm.
Whew, inflammation.
Go ahead. Now I'm just putting it up there. You go ahead and finish this.
No,
I'm just showing them. Hey, so check this out, fam. I'm just showing them guys where inflammation started. You know what I'm saying? And this right here encompasses all that inflammation. You got to finish your thought.
That overlay just beat me in the head, bro. Wow. But no, so you know, it's just insane because so now we crave, you know, orange flavored crunchy things, chewy yum yums. You know, we have like the other day I was at the grocery store and I walked past the Pop-Tarts and they have soda flavored Pop-Tarts.
Damn. Hell no.
Like orange soda flavored Pop-Tarts. Wait, so now I want a Pop-Tart that tastes like an orange soda?
Hell.
Right? That's just ridiculous. What happened to apple, cinnamon, and strawberry? Like,
Sure.
you know, I get it. I like a Pop-Tart too, but geez. Right? I prefer, however, with stuff like that. Here's another thing that I thought about with the eating choices that you mentioned, because this goes back into that inflammation.
Oh man. Hold on a second. Kev 504. Fam, I gotta get you up here, man. I got some. Listen, hey, Kev, hit me up on the email, man. I got some things I want to hit you up with, fam. Man, I gotta mod this dude up. Go ahead, finish your thought. I gotta mod him up real quick. Go ahead.
That's all good. So we get pushed to want these things and crave these things, and we like she said earlier, we want the fast route. That woman took 2 surgeries instead of working out and still had to work out to recover from the surgeries. So she could have just worked out in the first place. But we're in a I want it done for me society. But I'll pause there.
Salute. Back. Hey, Sheik, you back? I think she's on the call. So let's get into the next. Let's get into the next, guys. Let's get into the next one. Let's talk about indirect costs. All right. Here's the thing about this right here, man. We got 2 more slides after this, guys. I want you guys to really dig in. I'm looking for somebody to dethrone M. Shanti and Time with the comment of the day, man. Y'all come on in. OG Patrice, what's up with you? Greetings and salutations. What's up? Listen, you know what I mean? The indirect costs, guys, of being sick. When you are sick, you can't work, which means you are contributing to the workplace productivity. Okay, just like my man Zoe said earlier, they're gonna fire your ass. If you can't fucking work, they're gonna get rid of your ass. Operational disruptions. Pay attention, guys. Major, especially if you the head of a project. Major projects may be delayed or compromised due to the absence or reduced performance of key team members, leading to missed deadlines and potential loss of business opportunities. And listen, if you the head of said project and you miss that business opportunity, that means you messing up revenue for that company. That means that company is saying, you know what, you fucking up my money. We're gonna have to get rid of your ass. You know what I'm saying? Trust me, you're on the chopping block. If you constantly sick, always ill, if the wind blow, you get a goddamn cold. They're gonna get rid of your ass, man. Next up, higher health costs. Companies often bear the financial burden of their employees' health through insurance premiums, workers' compensation, and healthcare benefits. Poor employment health can drive up these costs. That's why, Zoe, companies are saying, even here, they paying for employees to sit there. Hey, listen, go to the gym. Hell, we'll give you a stipend. Hey, listen, we're going to sit there and cook up. We want your ass to be healthy, because they know if we can keep you healthy, goddamn, you can keep a job. But if you always sick and you always downtrodden and you always complaining about this and you always complaining about that and you always saying this and you always, oh, I don't know if I'm gonna make it in today. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it. I don't know. Hey man, listen, don't worry about it. You know what I'm saying? We got you. We got you. And here's another thing, so before I give it to you. Based on this right here, guys, all that shit cannot be done. It's not always, oh, we can do it remotely. Fuck no. Sometimes you need to be in office to get things done. You got to bring your ass in office. You got to be up. You got to be able to move. Oh, I just do it. Everything now is going remotely. Not everything. Sometimes you got to get your ass up, get your ass in that office. And if you always sick, they ain't got time for you, fam. They're going to move on. Trust and believe. They will move on. So you got it.
No, that's actual factual. They will move on. So operational disruptions is crazy, but also higher healthcare costs is part of that operational disruptions, right? Like you said, they're paying for what they call health and wellness programs, right? And here's another thing, like for things like when you have a group of people at a company, if a group of people is, X age range and they're always sick, and then you got another X age range that isn't, but they both work at the job, there's something called adverse selection. So here's why you want the people that you work with to be healthy too, because they drag your health insurance premiums up. Adverse selection takes a collection of the health and ages of the roster of employees and says, okay, you got X amount of employees with, this, because they ask you questions like, they get your health information when you get a job, right? So, because they got to find out if you have any disabilities or anything, right? So all that data compiled, if it's a bunch of sick people at the job, the people who are healthy, that makes what y'all got to pay for your health insurance collectively, costs go up. Jobs have to pay 75% if they don't have at least 75% of the workforce participating. Sick people usually don't participate, which makes the cost for you go up even more. Right? You would think, well, because it's healthier people, the price will go down. Normally it would, but because the size of the roster shrinks, let's say you got 100 people, but 62 of them are sickly, so they don't want to take the health insurance. Well, because the health insurance knows that there's 100 people, they wanted at least 75. And now you only got almost 50 of them, or less than 50 of them, who are taking the health insurance. So they're making it more expensive because it's a smaller group. Does that make sense?
Perfect sense.
So you see how that can also disrupt operations?
That's right.
Now, again, and then if things are long-standing, again, some things might be chronic. Some things you got to go through a lot of stuff because there's tests and exams. We're not talking about that. What we're talking about is being able to make conscious choices, right? And making those conscious choices can make a difference from things being chronic or not. Now pause there.
Salute, man. That's what I'm talking about. Listen, so now I think it's only right that we talked about some things that can sit there and hinder your progress. You know what I mean? All the bad things about poor health. So let's talk about some of the things that, steps to improve your financial and health situation in a relationship or marriage. One, Okay? Open communication. You got to communicate. You need to have an open and honest discussion about health and financial goals with your partner. Transparency can help in planning and preparing for potential health-related expenses. That's the key, guys. I don't give a damn. If you talk to anybody, let me say this right here. If you talk to anybody in a long-term relationship, be it a relationship or a marriage, whatever the case may be, you ask them, what are the keys? What are the key metrics to sit there and say, why your guys are so successful? What are the key metrics? I guarantee you, one of the first thing I'm going to say is we got to open communicate. We communicate with each other. You see what I'm saying? That's one of the first things, if not the best thing. You got to have some type of communication with each other. Second is, you knew this was coming. Preventative care, guys. Invest in preventative care. Regular checkups. I remember to sit there and saluting my girl, Armin Brown. She said this shit last year, maybe a year and a half ago. Black men don't like to go to the doctor until it's too fucking late, until your ass around this bitch looking like this right here. You know what I'm saying? That's the only time you want to go to the doctor. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So I think is regular checkups, a balanced diet, okay, and exercise can reduce the risk of developing chronic diseases. Also, guys, when you guys in the union, when you guys in a relationship or marriage, whatever, you got to support each other, man, and making healthy life choices. You can't be around here eating salmon. You can't be around here eating mahi-mahi. You can't be eating clean, and then you see your husband or your wife around here eating some bullshit, and you okay with that? You see what I'm saying? So this could means cooking. I don't told you guys before, cook your food. You got complete autonomy over what you put into your system at that point. How it's prepared, how much salt, whatever you put on it, across the board. Take some time to cook your meals. You know what I mean? Do it together. You know what I mean? So I'm going to say this. Now, this is crazy. People sit there and say this goofy shit all the time. I talked about this last time. Well, oh, you could just, if somebody, you could just motivate the person you with. You know what I'm saying? And if they see you doing it, they're going to do it. Man, listen, I do this. Fuck what you heard. I do this. I don't have people sitting right before me in this office right here. The husband come in, the wife come in. My word is right here. Okay, you guys gonna do this together? The husband or wife on both situations. No, I'm just here for support. I ain't ready to sit there and stop eating that shit. I'm just here supporting him. Or I'm just here supporting her. I ain't ready to stop. I'm just here. I'm gonna keep, in other words, I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing. You can't change somebody. They got to be ready to do it themselves. And I'm talking about, I ain't just talking about no one year. I'm like, oh, yo, y'all supporting? Yeah, cool. Yeah, I'm here. But I'm just here to support him. I ain't ready to sit there and give up my damn chicken wings or whatever the case may be. I ain't ready to sit there and give up my bill, whatever that is, whatever that look like. I don't heard it in real time come in. I ain't talking about, I'm talking about a married couple. So you can't change somebody. I don't give a damn if you doing it day in and day out. If they not ready to change, you ain't gonna be able to do shit with that. You know what I'm saying? So go ahead and touch on that, fam, before I go into the next one.
Open communication is very important. I'm learning that myself. With things like, again, your doctors, right? And preventative care, which is an investment. You have to, especially in the age of information, when they tell you about something, if they give you a medicine, look it up.
Facts.
If they tell you got a condition, look it up. You can look it up right in front of them. Why do you know what you say it is? Clipper, how you spell that?
Exactly.
And Google it right in front of the doctor. Because let me tell you, most of the time, that's what they're doing. I think he has sclerodermia. Let me just, these symptoms look like sclerodermia. That's what you have, sir. I'm gonna give you this drug. Ironically enough, one of the financial things is doctors get a kickback for prescribing you medicines, but we're not going to talk about that. You've heard of death by consumption, but death by assumption. Yeah.
Y'all don't know Toya yet. They don't know Toya yet, man. Toya come and rip this bitch.
Oh.
But go ahead, fam.
Okay.
Go ahead.
But so can you pop the thing back on the screen?
Yes, sir.
Right. So again, open communication talking with your doctors as well as, yes, I've been with my wife 15 years. Bro, communication is key. And I actually, here's another thing though that happens. You start to be able to communicate, you know, almost without having to say anything, right? You start to learn each other. But that comes with actually trying to learn each other and being proactive and having that communication there. Preventative care is also important because that's a part of communication, right? You don't want to have your wife or your husband scared for your life every time they hear you cough. They hear you cough. Oh my God, are you okay? Are you about to? You don't want that, right? That causes stress on them. And that's unfair if you say you love this person, right? So I'll pause there.
All right. Okay, salute Mahogany Roots in the building. What's up with you, girl? What's going on?
Hey.
Bruce Gas is back in the building. So the next two, all right? The next two guys, again, those are steps. Talk about some shit that's going to hinder you. Talk about some shit that's going to help you. The next two, health insurance and life insurance. Make sure you both have adequate insurance coverage. Review your policies regularly and ensure they meet your needs. Okay? Number 4, financial planning. Okay? You need to have emergency funds to cover unexpected medical expenses. We just sit there and show you guys no bills gonna keep piling up on your ass. Okay? In addition, work with a financial advisor. Okay? To create a comprehensive financial plan that includes health-related expenses. With that being said, I want to welcome Mahogany Roots to the show. What's up with you, Mahogany?
Hey, good afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon to the panel and chat. Well, I was trying to catch it before she dropped down, but I was listening for a while, and it's a good topic. I'm actually going through a lot of it. I heard Alonzo say that he has health issues too. Right. And it's a lot. It's hard. Of course, we all know that health is a good way to prevent it if you can, but then there's some conditions that are unfortunately hereditary. And then, so it's hard. And all I could say, if I could do things a little bit differently, I would have, but it's hard to prepare for something you're not sure if you're going to get or not. Sometimes we can prepare and it's great when you can. And then sometimes you don't know. But this is a great topic. And so, Kev 504, the link is in there, Kevin.
It's in there, Kev.
Yeah, it's in there. He just dropped it a little while ago.
I dropped it again, Kev.
Yeah. Like for me, the crazy thing with me is for all intents and purposes, I've been healthy most of my life, like very healthy, very athletic. I was in cross country when I was in high school. I played softball. I played sports my whole life. I ran every day for probably 20 years in the military. I was that girl. However, I could not beat, I guess, my genetics. I guess I just couldn't beat that part. And it's hard because you're like, damn, I feel like I'm doing mostly right. I'm trying to do right. And but it's life. It's life. You don't always get the hands, you don't get to choose the hands that you're dealt sometimes.
Right. I want to say this, Mahogany, before I give it to She, man, that's some things that all three of us has not touched on, guys. If you just got something that's hereditary, that's been passed down, that's something, it's out of your control. There's nothing you can do with it, but you can work with it. You know what I mean? If it's genetically disposed to something, hey, listen, I mean, that's just what it is. I mean, you can't change that. But on the other end of that right there, it's just like type 1 diabetes. You know what I'm saying? It's got out of your control. Type 2, you just making bad fucking nutritional choices. You know what I'm saying? You just eating some bullshit. You just doing what you need to do. Type 1, nah, you can't really fuck with that. You know what I'm saying? Overweight, you're just making some bad nutrition choices. You need to be a little bit more disciplined at that point. But like Mahogany said, though, if you're going through something that's like, hereditary, it is what it is. I mean, yeah. So that's that. Like, you know what I mean? So with that being said, She, you want to add something?
Hey, She.
Mahogany. I'm gonna say this: dealing with epigenetics. There's a guy that's in this space that talks about that a lot. The nameless protagonist, and he
Yes,
talks
ma'am,
about epigenetics a lot. And a lot of people think that that the things that run in their family is a death sentence to the next generation. But you can beat it according to your eating habits, the way you take care of your body. If you go down the line, there's a lot of things that you eat that kind of hit your body different. You learn how to work around it. A lot of times, we're so caught up on these sugars. We just gotta have the protein from the meat. A lot of people just going vegan, losing a lot of weight, maintaining, mental health. There are so many things in the food, the chemicals and stuff now which we eat. It takes over our body. It assumes us. The sugar, the fructose corn syrup, all this stuff that's added to our diet. We're bloodline is gonna always stay the same. We gotta change that ourselves by the way we eat, by the way we structure things in our life. Making sure our kids get to a level of freedom in which we caught. The size I'm at, I'm about 260 now. I lost a little, not as much, but I'm 6'6" even. Could I stand to lose some weight? Yes. But at the same time, compared to my other family members, don't have diabetes, don't have high blood pressure. Everybody getting to my age, at least in their 30s, start getting stages of diabetes, being a diabetic, start having high blood pressure issues. It was the way we was eating. I took my necessarily self, said, well, I'm gonna learn more for my body. I'm gonna start, cutting back on certain things. I gave the initiative to stop eating pork, and I brought it into my family, not because people think due to my name being Rashid that I'm a Muslim, but being righteous and having a health conscious. I know everything. I'm able to cut out everything, but it's baby steps. Rome wasn't built in a day. Financially, if I had a little more, yeah, I could do this, I can do that. Man, I can get a personal trainer. Man, I can eat the most wonderful food. I need to start with the money I got now because I only can get better later. If I start saying, man, I'm gonna go take this, I can't afford a personal trainer every day, but I can afford this app right here to go work out. Then I get this money up. Then I go get the personal trainer to critique everything, make it better. Man, I can't eat, this gourmet salmon from Alaska, but let me start right here with this salmon that's wild caught and it's not grown in the lab or it's not put out there in the ocean where they have pods. They literally have pods for fish in the ocean that the fish can't get out of. They're just swimming in this pod and they're feeding them and everything, and it's bringing it to the plate. I got to be conscious about how I eat. And that's where a lot of people are lacking at, when your health is your wealth, you got to be conscious about your eating habits. You got to be conscious about your money. Like I said about the person that hits the lottery. You hit the lottery, you're not financially stable, you're going to lose that money just as fast as you got it. It's on the reverse towards your health. You're slim, kind of, young and fit when you're young. But if you don't gain that knowledge of health, you're going to start getting bigger and bigger over time. Before you know it, you're going to be spending all that money trying to keep your health in line just to stay alive. Alonzo said it best. Steve Jobs would give all his money away to still be alive.
Big facts.
Okay, I just want to say I left a message. Kev, you're on Sheet, because thank you so much. Sheet shared it, which is good. So all you have to do is just continue to have Sheets live open and then just come on over here to Fourth Quarter Talk. and just mute the one that's on She's channel, and then you can join the link over here. Okay, if you want to join the panel. Big Duke, we can't hear you.
Okay, cool. Good. You hear me now? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool, bet. Before I get to this next one, Zoe, I know you want to get in there. And this right here ties into you, Zoe. It's an old video, way back. But it talks about how companies actually pay you to sit there and get your ass in shape. So they don't have to sit there and take the costs up. So that brings me to the next video, the last one. Let's get into it. And then Zoe, you're going to get it. Then we'll bring it to Mahogany. Let's get into it. Let's go.
It's lunchtime at IBM's sprawling headquarters in New York. The fitness center is filling up, there's a basketball game going on, and the hallways are so full of power walkers you might mistake the place for an indoor track. Sherry Chiara, an executive assistant, is gearing up to meet her walking team. So Sherry, this is the group?
This is the group.
As Sherry's team of regulars tells it powers the power walking is cash. IBM is paying them to do this. How much have you pocketed, say, over the last 2 years?
I'd say it's probably at least $600. It's $300 for the 2 years. It's free money, sure, why not?
And it's serious money. IBM has given employees more than $130 million in what are called wellness incentives or payments to get healthy.
Stop the show. Salute my man O'Shea. Zoe, listen, fam, that is so big that they want them to sit there and stay healthy in shape. But all these, now this is an old video. When I found it on YouTube, you're talking about, I think it's about maybe 15 years old. This video right here that I just showed is 15 years old. Zoe, are they still doing this right here? And are people still having like walking, quote unquote, walking groups? If not, give me your thoughts on it, fam. Go ahead, you got it.
So absolutely, and bear with me 1 second. I'm getting on the elevator, so I might be a little choppy. I had to come back inside and charge my phone. I left the charger in the house. But yes, they are. There's a lot of incentives for good health. And just like she said earlier, the CEOs, et cetera, are generally doing things like staying physically fit because physical acuity has a lot to do with mental acuity. And then things like your job performance actually increases. So you can actually increase productivity, right? And we were talking about making those little changes and things like your health insurance and life insurance. I got a real life story. I got a customer who was a firefighter, right? And he applied for $750,000 worth of life insurance. That policy, it was a term policy. For that policy, it was going to cost him $125 a month. But like I tell people, life insurance is based on, you don't pay for it with money. You pay, 1 second, let me just kiss my wife. Mwah. Babe. Mwah. Love you. Sorry. So life insurance is paid for by your health, not by your money, by your health and your age. So what happens is he then took the physical exam. When he took the physical exam for the policy, it came back and they were like, hey, based on your health exam, you got two options. You can either stay paying you can either pay, I think it was $85 instead of $125.
So you still there? He's on the elevator.
Yeah, Alonzo, we lost you. Oh.
Hey, Zoe,
Yeah,
you
lost
keep picking
me.
up, fam.
All right,
Okay,
1
you're-
second, hold on.
No,
Am I
you're
back?
yes, you're back.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, what's the last thing y'all heard?
The exam, you were talking about the exam?
Yeah, so He was a firefighter, and he took the health exam. When he took the health exam, it came back that instead of it costing him $125 a month, it was now only going to cost him $85 a month for the same $750,000 death benefit. Right? Nothing changed except for the fact that they checked his health and he was healthier than just a normal person. So that's how, and that saved him $40 a month. Right? $40 a month over the course of 12 months, over the course of 20 years is a lot of money. I'm not doing the math right now, but that's over $500 a year, right? Times 10 years, that's $5,000. Times 20 years, that's at least 10 racks it saved him for just being healthy. On the flip side, let's say somebody who was like him, who had the exact same health, but wasn't healthy because they smoked tobacco, the price will automatically triple. So I pause there.
Bet. Welcome to the show, man. First time. Kev 504. Was good with you. Vet, the vet. Another
Hey,
vet.
what's going on, Duke? How you making
What's
out,
going
man?
on,
Hey,
man?
Mahogany. It's always a pleasure to hear from you.
You too.
And Zoe, what's up? I'm listening to you, Zoe. I like what you're
What's going
saying.
on, bro?
What's your thoughts, man? What's your thoughts on the topic, Kev, man?
So
What's your
we're
thoughts?
talking about just health and financial and physical health at this point. But
The financial cost of poor health, you know what I mean, from an economic perspective.
yes. See, and I think like you were saying earlier, getting those checkups and routine and regular doctor checkups make a big difference, you know, and identifying things before it become too late. I know, you know, as men, we have issues of lining up and going to get the prostate exam and stuff like that. And even just a once every 4 to 6 months, you know, checkup can avoid a lot of health issues like that, you know. And also think that relaxation, man, simulation, whatever you can do to wind down if you got a stressful job, things like that. I know when I was a UPS driver, some of the guys would go get massages and stuff like that, or go stretch out, things of that sort. Now, when we was talking, when I hear your brothers talking about insurance, as a UPS driver, one thing about UPS workers, and I don't think a lot of people know, is when you start the job, even as a part-time employee, you get full medical benefits. It don't cost you nothing. They don't charge you or your family not $1. Right, and the reason why they do that, like Mr. Hall was saying, is you working every day, man. You in physical top shape. I'm literally walking around, delivering package, walking, exercising 8 to 10 hours a day. So that kept you in good shape, and I'm sure they got some discounts because of that type of thing there, because a lot of people were in good shape, and we didn't have very many, if any, employees in the New Orleans building that had any kind of major health issues. It was far and in between.
Oh man, listen. I mean, that's at the forefront though, Kev. That's what I'm talking about, man. Like that's what I was just showing, like the video, man. Like these companies, like they pay people to sit there and be in shape. Because if you don't, it's gonna raise their fucking premium.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So Mahogany, go ahead. What's your thoughts?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was typing in the chat. Well, I got a lot. Like I said, I'm actually going. It's so ironic because I'm going through this. Although a lot of stuff you talk about is familiar to everybody, right? But you just never think it's. You just never. I personally never thought. I never foresaw it. And I want to say a few things, but I'll make be as short with it as I can. Everything y'all have been saying for months over here in this channel for years is true. That we know that health and diet all contributes to our quality of life, and it's better to be preventative. As Alonzo said, it's way better to be preventative. It's the same way in dentistry too. You know, everybody waits till the tooth hurts. You want to take care of your teeth before it starts hurting. But anyway, my point is that you do have people out there with autoimmune. So I found out I have an autoimmune disease. I didn't know nothing about no Crohn's or IBS, and you have lupus, you have all these diseases that honestly are genetic, and you can I will say this, even I want to be uplifting to people, because even if that's the situation, right? The diet and the fitness does help ease a lot of those pains and a lot of those complications. It does help lessen that. I've experienced that myself, because I couldn't imagine. I'm gonna be honest. I couldn't imagine how I probably would be a lot worse off if I wasn't as health conscious and if I wasn't as somewhat in okay shape. So and it keeps, like, when you are dealing with any type of disease, whether it's autoimmune or not, it gets very stressful. It gets extremely stressful. So it just keeps those hormones in regulation and just keeps you cool and calm, so you're not as stressed out as you would be as if you didn't. Another thing, you already kind of talked about supporting the family members and stuff. That's extremely important. My sister has been diabetic since she was younger. And through the years, it's gotten worse and worse and worse. And I've just always tried to be just a support for her. Not calling, but just a support, because I know how hard it is. I know that she wants to lose weight. I know that she wants to do a lot of things. Only thing I would ask is that us as a support system, because what I can do, I know she can't do. So I wouldn't even dare, go over there and try and get her to do some of the things that I do. I wouldn't even insult her like that, so I start her off really small things. I'll just say this, then I'll hurry it up. She, like, right now, it's been this way for a while, but her weight has gotten away, and so now she's wheelchair bound, and she can walk a little bit, just a few steps, and she has to sit back down. So I told her, I said, well, let's lift some weights. Let's get some little dumbbells, and we can work on our upper body, and we can do little things in the chair. So, I just want us all to remember that everybody is in a different place, and that's okay. Just still be supportive, because everybody's not in the same place that, you might think. Sometimes we think that people aren't trying, and that's not the case. They could be trying, but it's, they're doing the best that they can, that their body can do, because they're dealing with a lot of other stuff.
Nah, that's all fire, no smoke. And I tell people, what I like to say, Mahogany, is I like to meet you where you at. Okay. I meet people where they at. You know what I'm saying? So again, I don't, when people sit there and say, oh, Duke, can I work out with you? True. I'm not saying you ain't got to lift what I lift. You ain't got to sit there and try to do what I do. All I'm saying is match when somebody work out with me and they don't have any ill symptoms or nothing like that, match my intensity and match my effort. That's how you're going to get better. Don't try to come out here and show out and try to do what the fuck I do. You're going to lose that battle. Most of the goddamn time. Not saying I'm the strongest man in the world, but at the same time, I've been around this game a long time. You know what I'm saying? I'm pushing 50. You know what I'm saying? So at the same time, match my intensity and match my effort. That's how you get better. But like you said, Mahogany, people like that right there who just want to start out on the fitness journey, always tell them, I can meet you where you at. Okay, I can meet you where if it's like ground level, just starting out, okay, I can meet you right there. The thing is, you got to have enough discipline and wherewithal to sit there and perform said act. You know what I mean? That's something that, now, I can't help you, Kev can't help you, Zoe can't help you, she can't help you, Mahogany can't help you, Trust can't help you, Shanti, nobody can. That shit got to come from within. That got to come from within. That individual got to be ready and willing to sit there and do whatever it is need to be done to sit there and get from point A to point B. And if that point A to point B is like 3 or 4 months, then that's what it is. I mean, some people, you can accelerate that time. But the whole thing is, like you said, is meeting somebody where they at. Kev, you got it, fam.
I just want to say one thing real quick, and then Kevin, I just want to say one thing real quick. Shout out to my sister.
Go ahead.
Well, I want to say this because I'm so proud of her. She did lose 50 pounds, and she's been doing it her way. Now, because I'm not going to lie, the reason I can speak on this is because I was going in there, buying her groceries, taking the food out of her refrigerator, and found she was like, girl, what are you doing? This is not your house. Carry your little narrow ass.
Yeah, you're going to get pushback. You will get pushback.
And I'm buying organic, I'm buying all these smoothies, and she's like, girl, I don't like this. So I had to step back. So I know what I'm talking about. So, but she lost the 50 pounds. She's got a nutritionist of her own. So I'm proud of what she is doing.
Let me say this too, Mahogany, before I give it to Kev. Now, with that being said, guys, if you got somebody like that, because I got somebody like that in my family, you will get pushback, because if you're in shape and they not, they always gonna look at you as like, oh, look at you, like you said, Mahogany said what your sister said to you. I get it too on my end. You always gonna get pushback. You know what I'm saying? It's just a matter of, okay, cool. How much pushback can you take? Now, for me, I'm just speaking for myself. You can't sit there and tell me a couple things. I'm like, if you don't want the help, Mother Major, motherfucker, I'm going about my business. That's just me. I'm talking about me. I'm talking about me. I'm not talking about y'all. I'm talking about myself. But at the same time, you can't sit there and turn me down, but for so many times before I sit there and say, okay, cool. You go ahead and do your own thing. Kev, you got it, fam.
Yeah, it's just thinking more of the preventive maintenance. I think that's one of the biggest key factors. And like Mr. Hall was saying, in seaweed, we hear that, with all this processed sugar and things like that in our diet, our official diet, I think that's most of Americans. We just eat a lot of, trash food, and we sometimes knowingly and not knowingly, there's, like Doritos may give us the trash food and make good corn chips or something like that for places that are out of the country. They don't put the same ingredients in other countries' food when they make it for them, but those other countries make a demand that like we don't serve that here. You got like fast food is some of the worst food that we can actually eat now. I remember back in the days I worked at Wendy's when they actually had ground meat. And it really was meat, and then I remember that it changed over while I was working there, and I'm talking about the 90s, early 80s, late 80s, early 90s, where you had to press and squish the meat down to make it bigger, and it was coming, totally different companies start making it. So with that and all the sugars that we have,
Woke up, Kev. You still there? Damn. And let me just let me say that I'm gonna give it right to you, bro. Kev, you there? All right, he broke up. Listen, all this from a marketing standpoint, this is my field, guys. Listen, don't this is my field. All this or quote unquote organic stuff out there, a lot of that's just marketing tools, man. A lot of marketing tactics, man. They just sit there and try and make a buck. First thing first, when they sitting there saying marketing this, organic this and organic that, look at the soil that the stuff is produced in. The soil got pesticides and all that shit in there. So a lot of that stuff is just, it's all what the young folks say now, all cap and shit, right? But don't sit there and be fooled by organic this and organic that, and you got to eat this, and not you got to eat that. Listen, my thing is, before I give it to you, Zoe, if Kale come back, practice mindful eating. I'm not saying eat what I eat. I'm not saying eat as clean as I eat. I'm not saying that shit. I'm just saying if you want to sit there and better for the betterment of you, and if it's applicable to you and your family, you got to sit there and do some shit. You can't sit there and always make excuses as to why not. You can't do that. I'm sorry, it's not going to happen like that. If you want to change, that change got to come from you. Zoe, you got it, fam.
Well, no, that's an absolute fact. And like you said, even if, because like you said, a lot of people are going to reject things. So just like in finances, you got to start small, right? The reality is, unless you're investing $10,000 at a time, you're not investing. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't do things like Robinhood or Acorn or stuff like that, because you're learning, right? And it's at a smaller scale, right? I can't do, 50 pull-ups, right? But I could do one pull-up a day for 50 days. And and the reason I got that, me and my cousin who's pushing 50 was having the same conversation yesterday. And he was like, look, man, is everything all at once. Yeah. Well, I like Trader Joe's back in the day, but he said the same thing. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm glad you're up here too, because I wanted to ask a question about finances. So what happened to me was I was not working full time by choice. And because of that, I did not have any insurance. So I definitely, the finances hit me hard, right? And then I ended up just leaving because doing what I do, so it just was becoming very painful for me to work, right? And again, my doctors even said, Tiffany, those of you who don't know my real name, but anyway.
I love that brand. No, there you go.
A lot of y'all already know Mahogany been here a long time, so y'all know. But anyway, what was my point? The point is they let me know, girl, you might not be able to do this much longer. You got a bad back, a bad neck, and now you're developing carpal tunnel. And you develop carpal tunnel syndrome in your wrist when you do a lot of wrist movement. And in dentistry, I do a lot of wrist movement. So they already warned me, you might want to prepare to change careers. And so this late in the game, I just wasn't prepared for that. I want to ask you your advice for when something does happen financially and you don't have a backup plan. Now, the thing that saved me, I'm not gonna lie, I'm good at saving money. I had a savings to fall back on. And then I also had, because I'm a veteran, I had my VA. I always get seen at the VA hospital. But do you have any advice for, God forbid, if something does happen for people, how to financially get themselves out of a rut?
So in a situation something like yours, there's actually something called critical illness insurance or disability insurance. And for example, in the event of a chronic illness, you can't perform 2 activities of daily living, or, you're physically incapable of work. Specifically, disability insurance will pay you up to 60% of your take-home income, regardless of if that injury or disability was on or off the job. Now, this is very different than the disability insurance that you get from your job. Okay. And again, it depends on the field, because there's, different tiers and what people pay. But for the most part, that's private disability. So even if you're offered it from your job, you still want to kind of seek it out. Of course, the thing about insurance is this, and this is why Big Duke keeps telling us, get it before you have to come have a consultation with me and say, hey, let me come see you, Alonzo, for this life insurance. Because when you come see me at that point, if you have pre-existing conditions or you're already unhealthy, 1 or 2 things is likely going to happen. It's going to be astronomically expensive, so you can't afford it. Or more likely what will happen is the insurance company will decline you, and they'll be like, no, we don't want your business. You're too much of a risk for us. And then they give that information to something called the MIB, which is the Medical Information Bureau. So now every other insurance company in the country knows about you.
That's so sucky. Oh, that's horrible. That's horrible.
Yeah.
Well,
Everybody in the
thank
building?
you.
Sorry?
I said thank you.
No problem.
I'm sorry, bro. My fault, guys. I'm gonna finish up with this video, guys. I'm about to get out here. I'm hungry than the hostage. But listen, I want you guys to take on this right here. Mahogany, I want you to take on this right here. Something that we don't champion. It ties into what Trust has just mentioned right here. The video about my man eating a whole trough of crabs. Let's get into it, man. Let's go.
Judge me by my progress. Look at where I started and look at where I'm standing. Judge me by my progress. Look at where I started and look at where I'm standing. Judge me by my progress. Look at where I started and look at where I'm standing.
That's something that needs to be championed, man. I know Zoe that. we got a champion in that. And Kev, you down there, you know what I'm saying? New Orleans, I got love for New Orleans. You know, I got
Yeah,
love
they
for
actually
New Orleans.
have they got festivals down here, man, where they just glut it out with crawfish and
Yeah, I
crabs and
know.
stuff like that. Yeah.
But since you guys came to the panel late, you know what I'm saying? So Mahogany and Kev, I want y'all thoughts on that right there. Something that we need to champion like that right there. You know what I mean? So what he thought was good food versus what is good food. Go ahead, Kev, you got it.
I don't know. We looking at crawfish and crabs, man. That's right up my alley, bro. Yeah, what could be wrong with that? They are definitely heavily seasoned, so the health benefits, I'm sure. Well, they're shellfish, so I think there's some in there. Just how you cook them, I guess that would make a big difference in seafood, right? Like you don't want to be frying your fish or anything like that. Go ahead on and bake it, you know, and do your best. It's just a few adjustments that you got to make to do a little better. You know, I cut out seafood and cut out. I was gonna say seafood, fast food, and I cut down on salt. You know, I have a 12-year-old daughter that I'm raising, so I teach her how to cook from scratch, and she understands with reading the labels. You know, what's meant on the labels for that processed corn syrup and all of that kind of stuff. You know, natural foods. We got to get back to the basics.
And here's what I'm saying, Kev, before I give it to you, Mahogany, is that I'm not saying, like, listen, just stop doing it. I'm just saying do it in moderation. You know what I'm saying? Especially down, to be honest with you, keeping it real 1,000, Kev, especially in New Orleans and Florida. You know what I mean? Crab pots, they don't know about that, digging a hole. And you probably too, Mahogany. Dig a hole in the backyard, put some wood in there, put a pot out there, cook some crabs. Shit, it's going down. I'm just saying do the shit in moderation. I'm not saying do it every weekend. Do it in moderation. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I'm saying. Mahogany, you got it.
Excellent. That's exactly what I was going to say after Kevin. And Kevin, that was perfect what he said also, because like I'm from the South too, just he's from Louisiana. I'm from the Kakalakis. And it's the same thing. We eat a lot of seafood. Seafood is big. It's a big staple down here, but it's how you do it. You don't have to drench your seafood in butter. You don't have to fry everything. You could bake things in the oven. You don't have to add a ton of cheese and butter to everything. A lot of times it takes away from the natural flavor, especially when it comes to meat and seafood. Anyway, when you add all those extra dips and seasoning and sauces. So personally, I don't like a whole lot on my meat anyway. I'll just say this, because I have been researching, right, trying to find the cure for what I'm going through. I will say this. We got to be careful with social media, because looking at him and that amount of crabs, yeah, he probably obviously he was a big dude. He might have been eating that, but a lot of times we see things and people are doing crazy stuff. They're doing it for attention on social media. So we got to remember that too. A lot of the stuff we see is just really honestly social media clout. But yeah, portion size is a big thing. And I know you've talked about this on this channel plenty of times, but I'm just going to bring it up. A way to help you is just use I use smaller plates. Then you're more conscious of, okay, if I get another serving, okay, I'm on plate 3. That's plenty. I shouldn't be on plate 3. So you're just more conscious of how you're eating when you use smaller servings. If you're not drinking water, you're drinking some other type of beverage, use an 8-ounce glass or 8-ounce cup. That way, you know, okay, I've had enough of that, and the rest of my drink should probably be water. Just being more conscious of the amount, because a lot of times, like, you're not, since I haven't been working full time, I've been at home more and I've been snacking more and eating more. So, oh, I'm sorry, I'm going on and on. But yeah, the portion control, and then changing the way you cook things. Everything doesn't have to be deep fried in grease. Exactly.
Leave that shit alone, Kev. Listen, guys, man, we at the 2-hour mark. Listen, I want to do this before I get out here. Y'all stay in the building. I always do the comment of the day. I got 4. And I'm gonna pick the comment of the day, man. We're gonna start with Time. He said you can make your own healthy salad dressing that costs, I think he meant no money. It's the mindset of today's people because of greed and power. If you like yourself, you know that your body is a temple. I like that. Simple, but very effective. M. Shanti said, I stay away from Big Pharma as much as possible. They create problems more than they heal or cure. Salute, Trust said. You heard of the debt by consumption, but debt by assumption is also a thing. Solid. And also, Trust came in and right here said, imagine if we view food as an investment of our physical health rather than some sort of emotional fulfillment or guilty pleasure. Ooh, shit. All fire, no smoke. Damn. Man, listen. Ooh. I'm going to give it the time and trust on that one right there. I'm going to get time and then I'm going to get trust on that one right there. Solid, man. Solid. With that being said, I'm going to start out with my man, Zoe. Stay in the building. Kev, I want you to email me. I want to hit you with something, man. You know what I'm saying? If you stay in the building, man, I'm going to go with my man, Zoe here. You got the floor, fam. It's all yours. Put a clock up there. Final thoughts, man. Final thoughts. Go ahead, fam. Run it.
Well, as we know, health is wealth. You know, try to do the things that you can do to be best for you. Just stay physically active in some form or fashion. Make sure you look out for my social media, Alonzo Hall, the All-Star Advisor on most platforms, SMIB on others, social media insurance broker. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, also, it's small steps. Therefore, wipe ass. Work in progress every day and see success. Work in progress every day and see success. Wipe ass. Work in progress every day and see success. And lastly, remember, folks, when people challenge you, they don't challenge you to challenge you, but they challenge you to challenge you. Accept the challenge. Salute.
Salute, man. Good. Yeah, the legend.
Yes,
You know what I'm saying? Fucking legend, man.
Man, that's good, Mr. Hall. I got some questions, man, on the insurance game. Definitely that, because I have a 12-year-old daughter that I definitely want to get insured up properly. Or should I get term life or whole life insurance in her case? What's a good amount? Also, at my age, like I dipped when Hurricane Katrina hit, I had to dip in my insurance and cash in, and then had to rebuild it back even at a later age. So would it be the best options for that? Now, you know, things like that. I got questions, man. That's good to know. But things like that is good that you got this kind of platform so you can share information and useful, helpful information, you know, outside of the old gender stupid war thing and stuff like that. Whatever can help keep us healthy as a people. You know, I think that should be priority number one. Finances and physical health, you know, well-being. That's how you get you know, before all the relationships start, that's how you help the Black community first.
Solid, man. Solid. Salute, man. Salute. And I'm going to keep it right there, man.
And I got your email. I already emailed you, big brother.
Yeah, salute, man. I appreciate it, Kev. All right, I'm about to get out of here. Hey, listen, man, before I get up out of here, guys, man, listen. I'm gonna close out the show how I started it, man, with the song called Black Sunday. Man, this week has been a whirlwind of events, shit going on YouTube, been a lot of crazy shit said. Man, we gotta get together, we gotta unite. There's some crazy shit out there, man, that I heard. I'm just like, man, listen, ain't no motherfucking way in hell. But listen, man, it's crazy. So, in other words, look at the video, man. The intro is going to be the outro today. Black Sunday, organized confusion. Man, that's my time. A solid show. I appreciate you all for being in the building. Take care of yourself and each other. It's the outro, man. Black Sunday. Get a hold, get a grip, lock in. Big Duke, all fire. No motherfucking smoke, baby. Let's go.
Lord, help me out town. We gotta get together. We gotta organize. No matter the weather, it's a Black Sunday. Hey.
I used to watch my grandmother catch the Holy Ghost in church. For her soul she would search. 5 years later now I'm off to work in a department store. I'm folding pants and shirts. At the end of the week, Lord, just enough loot to put some cheap sneakers on my feet. That's when I made a promise to my mama. I said, I bet you see me at the Apollo one day, and I'ma be kicking that fat funk shit. Black back braggadocious. Speakers in the back, trunk shit. Cause the boss is bossing me, that's causing me to miss classes, and I feel he's forcing me to be a jackass in the future. Then, who's gonna shoot ya? At this point in my life is where I chose to write rhymes instead of doing crime. 1986 to 1989, organized confusion did not get signed, but we will soon one day. Until then, I'll return at 12 noon on the track next Sunday.
Help me out, we gotta get together. We gotta organize. No matter the weather, it's a Black Sunday. Remember losing a loved one. Lord, help us to make it over. Delete the pork, cigarettes, and 49-cent soda. We came a long way and I'm still running for my freedom. Still have 100 miles to go. Escape from the crack vials so you can feed that baby. I used to ride the elevator with the crazy lady. A year later, I made demo cassettes with the Magenta stick was on the fader. Rhymes ran out quick, so I encouraged Marge to start writing rhymes on Mrs. J. Cooked dinner, then we came in into some hard times. Sour contract shouldn't have been on the plate. 2/8 escape back to LA with our demo tape. The state of mind I was in since 4C. That is that I gotta get mine representing 40 projects, so I'm all in. Gotta make papers and all that. Close my own record deal, cause I can't fall for that old snake shit. Hissing in the grass for the cash, little sis. Need tuition, listen, if you're missing my money, my fish you will be kissing. Damn, I don't even understand. Lord, Lord, help me out now. We gotta get together. We gotta organize. No matter the weather, it's a Black Sunday. Check it out.
So I would say this: we all show respect to different ethnicities when we put up in their motherfucking sectors, right? We're not pulling up. We're not pulling up in the Hispanic sectors and using their derogatory names. They're going to gatekeep and get you the fuck up out of there. Same as with Asians. Same as with we call them the small hats. That niggas are scared of them. We definitely can't say they shit.
Bro,
we gotta call them small hats.
Hey man, salute to the real Pookie, man. Salute to the real Pookie. That was him right there. That's my time. Y'all take care of yourself and each other. JT Grinder, what's up with your family? That's my time, man. Big Duke, all fire, motherfucking smoke. Peace.